What's going on, everybody? As you can see from the title, the thumbnail, everything, today we're doing a little something different. So I know this is a gaming channel, but I also am an anime fan, as you've seen with some of my other videos. If you haven't seen those, make sure y'all check that out. As you can see here, we're here to talk about my favorite anime of all time, which just got a adaptation on Netflix. So we're going to break down Yu Hakusho, the legendary 90s anime made by Mr. Togashi, who also made Hunter x Hunter, which is also in my top 5. So we're going to review it. I'm going to kind of not break down every single thing and differences between that and the, the source material, because obviously they tried to cram everything within, 5 episodes of a season and not, spread it across 112 episodes of an anime. So that's what we're going to do today. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into this review. So over the years, anime adaptations have been kind of, meh to pretty bad. I did think the Death Note one was pretty decent. People seemed to like the One Piece live action, so Cowboy Bebop, I heard, was pretty rough. It got canceled, but Netflix, I think, has been stepping it up a little bit. Avatar's not an anime, but will be coming out soon. So, I think they are moving in the right direction. And, the Yu Hakusho, once I seen the trailer, I was pretty excited for it. For people that don't know, Yu Hakusho came out in the 90s. This year is the 30th anniversary of the anime, actually. I was kind of mad. I got this Blu-ray set like 2 years ago before they did the special 30th anniversary one, but whatever. So yeah, I think this was the perfect time for them to do a live action adaptation. So the story of it is Yusuke Urameshi, my man right here, Mr. Spirit Gun, he sacrifices himself to save a young boy, and then he gets the chance to come back to life as a spirit detective, fight monsters, save the spirit world and the human world, and make sure the demons don't come, over and everything like that. And then he meets some friends along the way, Kuwabara, his best friend. You got Hiei and Kurama also, who are demons, but they help the human world. Hiei's a little selfish, but he comes around eventually. So that's pretty much the premise of it. Yusuke becomes a spirit detective, takes on different cases, everything like that. Now, the other characters that they actually brought into the show were a lot of the main ones. You got Botan, you got Keiko, you got Yukina, you got Yusuke's mom for a little bit, and you got Koenma, of course. And of course, members of the Black Club, what's his name? Takamura, I believe his name, Sakio. You got a few of them who are kind of the main bad guys. You got Team Toguro in here, Bui, Elder Toguro, everybody from there. So when I first seen the trailer, I actually thought this was going to be a movie, so I was kind of concerned on, okay, what arcs are they going to, what are they going to focus on? They can't do the whole Dark Tournament arc, which is a legendary arc, but what they ended up doing was they kind of kept towards the source material, but flipped it in a way that didn't ruin it so much, but they did it in a good way to kind of incorporate the first 3 arcs into one. So you had the original Spirit Detective arc, they cut out the Saint Beast arc, they had the Rescue Yukina / Black Tournament arc kind of mushed all into one. So how they did it was, instead of having a Dark Tournament, they ended up having, when they meet Toguro, which originally in the show was separate, they kind of put that together to have a final kind of fight between Yusuke's team and Team Toguro. Some of the other slight differences that I noticed too in the show was they didn't really waste time, because it would take too long to flesh out some of the more backstory and the emotional hits. So it's certain scenes they kind of rushed. I didn't really have that same impact. Yusuke getting the spirit wave was a huge few episodes in the show that people go back to all the time. It's very emotional. Certain deaths is very emotional because there's such a buildup. A lot of the characters, you didn't have a full history on them. Kurama turned to Yoko Kurama. It was kind of just yeah, I'm gonna just do it. And it if you never watched the show before and you've seen it, you're kind of he's just in this fox form, I don't know, it kind of, whatever. And Hiei and Yukina being brother and sister, there's some backstory to that. It just, they didn't really have time to really flesh that out. And, that remains to be seen. I do believe they're going to do a second season because of how the show ended. I think the second season they could do a lot, especially since they crammed all this into the first season. I think if they do the Sensui arc, I think it'll do really well, and they can actually flesh it out maybe to like 6 or 7 episodes and not have to rush everything. Because this one you had to like intro Yusuke, intro all the characters and all this kind of stuff. But the other thing they kind of not rush, but Koenma is just standing there like, I'm thinking of it of someone who hasn't watched it before, because I've obviously watched the show, but I'm looking at it, if someone that's never watched it before is watching it, it's like, why does this tall guy just have a pacifier in his mouth? Like, why? Like, when you're introduced to Koenma in the anime, he's like, looks like a child, and then you do see him in his like adult form, but you understand, like, it's not jarring for him to have a pacifier. You understand what the pacifier is for, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. But what I did also like about the anime, again, all the things I mentioned that was a little weird, doesn't really take away from the show. I thought the action scenes were actually pretty good to excellent. Now, when it comes to anime, it's hard to recreate these things without looking goofy, and trust me, there were some goofy moments, but like, it's hard to make it look as good as it could on an anime, because obviously it's animated. There are things that humans can do, and if you add too much CGI, it starts looking weird. Now, I think Yu Hakusho isn't the best choreographed show when it comes to fighting, so I think the live action, they did a really good job with a mix of, stunts and a little bit of CGI, but also like, I don't want to say kung fu, like martial arts type of fighting, using the environments, wall, running, jumping over cars, using pieces of, like I said, the environment to your advantage during the fight. I think they did a really good job in a lot of the action scenes. A lot of the fights were really good. Like, I was watching every move. I didn't want to miss a single punch, a single kick, a single throw a door from a car, or apartment blowing up, or motorcycle blowing up. I didn't want to miss any of that. I think the action was really, captivating and very, well choreographed. I really like that. Even some references to the anime, like the famous opening theme song, you hear it playing in a truck driver's car, and when they're in a ramen shop, it's like playing on a radio. It's like that. Those are the things where I feel like it's for the fans of the show. Like, they wanted to make sure that those people was actually watching it. So what would I rate the adaptation overall, the live action? I think I guess a solid 8 for me. 8, maybe even 8.5. For all its flaws, I think they did a really good job they did as good of a job as, translating, adapting a anime to live action as I've personally seen in probably anything I've ever watched. I'd normally steer away from live actions, but I think they did a really good job. It's got me excited to watch Avatar when it comes out, and I think Netflix really did their thing. Now, when it comes to what I recommended to a bunch of people, I don't know. I feel like this was for the fans, like I said earlier. If you never watched Yu Hakusho, I don't know if you'll enjoy this as much as everybody else. Like, you might watch it and be like, oh, okay, that was cool. Like, you don't get what's happening because they don't have enough time to flesh things out. In the anime, they got a full episode of a character thinking in their head, explaining stuff and their strategy and all this kind of stuff, and backstory on characters. They don't have enough time to do that, so it kind of takes away from that. But I would say if you never watched it before, I do recommend watching the original anime and then watching this. This is the perfect time to do that if you're interested in this. I definitely recommend it. It's my favorite anime of all time, like I've said before, so it's so good. It's so good. And like, the characters are all memorable. You care about all of them. They each have their, own motivations, and they all care about each other at the end of the day. So that's my review. Like I said, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Definitely recommended, but I would say if you're a fan of the series, definitely watch it. If you've never seen the series before, watch that first and then come to this. But with all that being said, that's it for this review. I appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you do like, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you are a fan of Yu Hakusho, or what's your favorite anime. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.
Mais